Hey there, group leaders. Thanks for taking a second to check out this video. I would love to have like a training thing just to kind of give you a crash course of what groups were going to look like and all that stuff. But for the sake of time and for your convenience, I thought it might be better just to do a video so we don't have to kind of schedule a time to get us all together. So what I'm going to do here in this video real quick is I'm just going to kind of give you a crash course of what your groups are going to look like for this next semester. So one, let me say thank you for taking the time to lead or host a group, and my hope is that every group would have someone who would be like the leader of it, who kind of facilitates conversation, and then maybe like a co-leader or like a number two. The point of it is to try to have some people that, you know, one person's kind of a group leader, and then we are trying to develop some people who might be group leaders in the future. I know that Kelly Welsh doesn't quite have a number two per se, but I know Cass and Andrew, you guys are going to be in their group, so hopefully you guys, since you've led groups in the past, I know Kelly and Jim have as well, you can kind of help do this together. So anyway, here's what we've got. Your groups are kind of underneath your control. Your team and your people in your group can decide when you meet, when you don't meet. So if snow or something like that happens, you don't need approval. We're pretty decentralized in how group decisions are made. So feel free to lead your group and kind of allow people to give some input. One thing that I'd ask you to do is just try to make sure that you guys do continue to meet. Push hard to stay regular on some of that stuff so that you end up canceling 1 week, then you cancel 2 weeks, and before long your group can kind of go stagnant and disappear. And so I'd encourage you to kind of push hard to keep your group meeting together. But with that said, a couple of guidelines that I always try to encourage group leaders. One, don't feel like you have to know everything and that you have to be the experts, because let's be real, none of us are really experts. Two, really try to hold people to the timeline of when we're going to start, when we're going to stop. If people are late, obviously we don't want to make people feel guilty, but we do want to kind of make sure, especially at the end, that we try to hold closely to that ending time, mostly because people who have babysitters need to get home or leave them. Also, if there's someone who just doesn't necessarily, they want to make sure that they're punctual, it gives them a chance to be able to say, hey, I gotta go. And so if nothing else, to say, hey, we're going to wrap up. If people want to hang out afterwards, they're welcome to do so, but hold closely to that one. And then the third one is, don't let anybody kind of take over the group as like the spiritual like guru. We're not in groups to fix each other per se. And so if someone starts to like say, hey, what you need to do, those are kind of some red flags. Don't be mean and shut somebody down, but you might want to try to hold the group accountable to the idea that, you know, we're not going to fix anybody in here. We want to help each other. We're on the journey together, but sometimes that can rub people funny to feel like, man, I got all these problems and all these other people think they're going to fix me. I don't want to go to group anymore. So those are the three big things I'm going to throw out there for you. What we're going to do this semester is a little different in the sense of, like, in the past we've done journeys. And they kind of were like a 6-week sprint. For this semester, we're going to do like a topical thing, and I invite you to do it along with the series that we're currently in called Stay Positive. But you obviously, the series will be over and you'll still be kind of working through some of these conversations. And so what I'm going to try to do each week is create for you like a conversation guide. It's going to look a lot like what we did during the journey, where no one is necessarily the only person talking, but everybody kind of gets to participate. And so, like, for week one, you'll get like a little sheet of paper. I'll put it in your Facebook group here in just a moment. It'll look like this. The way it'll kind of work is it'll start out with you reading right here, and you'll just kind of read all the black, and you'll welcome people. You'll go through those 3 guidelines I just gave you. And basically, what it'll do is it'll have you reading anything in the black. If it's red, the person who's reading kind of reads that quietly. But what you'll do is you'll kind of pass this around to members of the group. The sheet will walk you through who to pick and who to have read next, and kind of help set up the group for, you know, we're doing this together. And it also takes a lot of the pressure off the group leader to just be the one leading everything. Also, we've found in the past that doing this kind of format encourages more people to talk, because sometimes the paper's in their hands and they don't want like people just sitting there looking at them funny, and so people are more apt to jump in because they feel like they're helping out the person who's reading the sheet. And so the first week, just to kind of give you a heads up, you know, the host will start it out and you'll pass it to the person with the darkest hair, and then that person will pass it to the person on the 3 people to his left, and then they pass it to the person I don't even remember the last one, but they're just kind of passing it around, and the sheet just kind of tells you who to pass it to. And so we'll put these in your Facebook group. They're not secretive by any means, so anybody can see them or read them, and they're just kind of a guide to help facilitate your conversation. Would love for you to kind of walk through these. There'll be 6 of them over the course of this semester, and again, they're guides. They're not necessarily the rule, and so we'd love for you to do them, but don't feel so rigid that you have to stick with everything in every moment, and you're like checking the list, making sure you accomplish everything. Let the conversation flow and allow relationships to build and develop, as well as find ways to kind of inject opportunities to talk to people about chances to grow spiritually and stuff like that. So anyways, that's kind of the crash course for your group stuff for this spring semester 2016. I'm going to post this online and give you guys a chance to kind of give me some feedback and comments, and any questions you have, you know how to get a hold of me either through text, Facebook, email, and I know all of you have those contacts. So anyways, thanks again for taking the time to watch this. Hopefully this is helpful. We'll see you later.